Game of Thrones is one of the most watched shows of all time. The finale of its 7th season was watched by over 10 million paying HBO subscribers, and by over 100 million viewers who, let's just say, didn't pay for it. With such a vast appeal, it comes as no surprise that some artistic fans out there have felt motivated to create a myriad of impressive Game of Thrones homages. These include tattoos, sculptures, video game recreations, musical performances, and more. Keep watching to see some of the most amazing Game of Thrones art your fellow fans have come up with. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more interesting videos. Number 7. Game of Thrones themed micro-sculptures. We figured it would be best to start with the smallest of Game of Thrones tributes, a series of intricate pencil-tip carvings created by Thai artist Salavat Fidai. Here, you can see the house sigils, Night King, Titan of Braavos, and even the Iron Throne itself brought to life in glorious graphite. And just look at the detail carved into this miniature dragon. Honorable mentions in the sculpture category include this life-size 3D printed replica of Tyrion Lannister created by Jeff Christensen, and these impressive paper and glue house sigils recreated by Redditor Whole Dwarf. It's amazing what some fans come up with. Number 6. Beautiful Death. For those of you who aren't already familiar with the amazing art on display at beautifuldeath.com, you should really check it out. There you will find an impressive collection of tributes to all of the show's many characters who are no longer with us. The original gallery features posters designed by artist Robert Ball after each episode to commemorate the characters who died therein. However, the site also displays death-themed tributes submitted by fans alongside Ball's posters. Most of these appear amateurish compared to the originals, but some of them truly shine. Like this rendition of the Battle of the Blackwater. As Tywin Lannister says,
"The battle is over. We have won."
Number 5. A Westerosi Wedding. While weddings in Game of Thrones rarely come with happy endings, this real-life Thrones-themed wedding between UK couple Carrie Ford and Darren Prue was an exception. After winning a contest held by the streaming company Blinkbox, Carrie and Darren were treated to a no-expense-spared nuptial party at East Nor Castle, in which a professional costume and makeup team made all the guests look like Game of Thrones characters. Unsurprisingly, the couple asked to be dressed as Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow, respectively. Even the White Walkers at this event were treated to a slice of this gorgeous, Iron Throne-topped wedding cake, which of course was ceremoniously cut by a 4-foot longsword. Now, Carrie and Darren are not alone in holding a Westeros-themed wedding. In fact, it's becoming more and more popular every day. If you're interested, there are many wedding planning sites like brides.com which you can visit for Game of Thrones wedding ideas. Number 4. The Battle of the Bands. Well, this title is actually false. When the Michigan and Penn State marching band stepped out onto the gridiron for the halftime show, battle they did not. Instead, they joined together to perform a truly jaw-dropping rendition of the Game of Thrones intro theme, complete with the iconic sun with its spinning circles. Imagine how much time, effort, and coordination must have gone into pulling off this impressive performance. And it's not like these two schools were crosstown rivals who had the opportunity to rehearse together in secret. The University of Michigan is over 400 miles away from Penn State's campus. Also, after playing the intro theme, the two bands went on to play other famous songs from the series, including the Rains of Castamere and the Winds of Winter. The stadium commentators even chipped in by singing, or rather, announcing the lyrics to some of the songs. When you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or you die. The actual football game ended up being a 42-7 blowout, but after seeing this performance, I don't think many fans left the stadium disappointed. Number 3. A hotel north of the wall. Located over 100 miles above the Arctic Circle in northern Finland, this Game of Thrones-themed hotel has more than a few unique features. First of all, the 24-room main lodge was constructed entirely out of snow and ice, offering an authentic wildling experience. Almost every memorable aspect of the show has been recreated in this hotel, including Braavos' Hall of Faces, a detailed map of Westeros, and of course, the Iron Throne itself. Also included are larger-than-life sculptures of some of the show's most famous characters, like the Mountain and the Night King. While it's not technically a fan tribute, as the hotel was officially sanctioned by HBO Nordic and built by some of the world's best professional ice sculptors, we still thought that it deserved a spot given its sheer ingenuity. Number 2. Black Friday. What does Black Friday have to do with Game of Thrones, you might ask? Well, it's the name given to the first episode in a 3-part Game of Thrones parody by the animated comedy show South Park. The latter 2 episodes we won't name in the show for reasons of decency, but safe to say the whole story arc was filled with side-splitting laughs. We don't want to give too much away, but safe to say that when you equate children's strong feelings for their gaming consoles with the oaths of fealty sworn by the Stark and Lannister bannermen, hilarity will ensue. And of course, it goes without saying that one should beware the Red Robin wedding. South Park even received an Emmy nomination for this spoof, which will continue to entertain Game of Thrones fans for years to come. No doubt a lot of people you love are going to die. Number 1. Westeroscraft. Minecraft is the most popular multiplayer game of all time, with over 90 million monthly players, so it's no surprise that such a large user base would have more than a few Game of Thrones fans and fan tributes in the mix. What is a surprise, however, is that a group of a few hundred such fans banded together to create the single most amazing Game of Thrones tribute out there, a 1-to-1 scale recreation of the entire continent of Westeros. This is no joke! Here, you can take a walk through all of King's Landing, ride an elevator to the top of the wall, or simply browse through the library in the Citadel. This recreation is impressive, but it's far from the only Game of Thrones video game tribute out there. Game of Thrones mods go with strategy video games like Lannisters to gold. Even fantasy juggernauts like Skyrim have seen Thrones adaptations. However, what sets Westeroscraft apart is the sheer size of the project. According to its website, Westeroscraft covers an area of over 500 square miles, or roughly the same size as Los Angeles. It would take over 10 hours of in-game walking to get from one side of the map to the other. Almost 200 people working together put in tens of thousands of hours to pull off this project. Suffice to say, this may be one of the most impressive fan tributes ever made. For any show. Well, there you have it, folks. The 7 greatest homages to the greatest show on the planet. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please drop us a like and consider subscribing to our channel. Thanks in advance.